Well, hi there, South Fellowship. We are coming to you with a sermon video on Acts chapter 10, verses 36 through 38. And we're in a series called Brave in the New World. And we are looking today at a really easy subject, the problem of evil and suffering. Actually, it's not easy at all. As you know, if you've thought about it at any length, there are just so many questions around evil and suffering. And I think what I'd like to do today is hopefully dispel maybe some faulty ideas that specifically followers of Jesus hold. So if you want to look at maybe some ways of understanding evil and suffering that other religions hold, I'd encourage you to check out the message on this same subject from today, 5:12. But if you're not able to do that, this at least will address some misunderstandings that I think specifically Christians hold. So here we go. As for the word that he sent to Israel, preaching good news of peace through Jesus Christ. So peace, this is the weaving together of frayed parts through Jesus Christ. After all, he says he is Lord of all. You yourselves know what happened throughout Judea, beginning from Galilee after the baptism of John proclaimed, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with power. He went about doing good and healing all who were oppressed by the devil, for God was with him. Now, let me just point out, I think there's a faulty understanding of this word, sovereignty. Some people think that means God controls everything. And so we read passages like this and we go, whoa, wait, what in the world is Jesus doing here? Because what he's doing is he's freeing people who were under the power and rule of the devil. If God controls everything, isn't Jesus undoing something that he's done? Wouldn't he have had to do this thing, this oppression also, if he controls everything? And so I think what we start to see if we actually read the Bible is that God doesn't actually control everything. That's not what sovereignty means. What sovereignty means is God can do anything. God can do anything he wants. And so one of the things that God has done, and we don't exactly know why, is that God has allowed for a time Satan to be the prince of the air. That he has a role that he plays in this world. Now, the role of Jesus is to bring peace, okay, and to do good, okay, and to bring about healing by the power of God. That's also the role of the church, Jesus followers. We embrace that same role. But just know, when Jesus drives out the devil, when Jesus encounters suffering and evil, and he starts to work and reverse it, when Jesus encounters people who are possessed by demons or who are unable to walk, and he reverses those, Jesus is not reversing the work of his Father. He's not. He's reversing the work of an enemy. And I think, I I think there are a lot of followers of Jesus who don't have a theology of pain and suffering or even sovereignty that has a place for the devil. Because for some reason, God has created people and Elohim with freedom. With freedom. And that's why the world looks the way that it does. Now, one day, this work of Jesus, this good, peace, healing work of Jesus will ultimately take over. When Jesus comes back, he will renew the entire world, and those will be the things that dominate. But for now, there's this cosmic war. It's this cosmic war. And that's why there's pain, and that's why there's suffering, and that's why there's evil. I talked about this in the message, but there's a threefold enemy. And the enemy is the world, the flesh, and the devil. And so when we look at things in our world that happen, evil and suffering, we don't blame God and then run to God for healing. We blame sometimes ourselves. We blame sometimes the world that we live in, and sometimes it's our cosmic enemy. But we run to God for healing. See, if God is the reason for pain and suffering, then he cannot be the answer. So he can be one or the other. And I think what the scriptures clearly state is that he is not the reason for them, but the answer to them. Anyway, I hope that helps as you journey with Jesus. This is a great text to see that we have a very real enemy, and the enemy is not God. The enemy is pain and suffering and evil and the devil and all of those things. But remember today, your enemy is not God. Your healer is God. Thanks.